kind of fallen behind in reading the comments on my videos, and I apologise for that. That's that's my bad. It's been a bit of a funny couple of weeks, to be honest, and it's just the way it goes. One of the comments that was left on my last but one video kind of summed up the questions that people have about FreeBSD. So I thought I'd just run through them. It's only 7 questions, should be fairly easy to get through. So let's jump in and have a look. Okay, so you're following along with my videos and you're getting into it, and there's a few questions that you want to ask yourself, and thank you to all those that have pointed these out, and there are a few of you. But we're going to jump into the one that kind of sums up all the questions you guys are asking. So let's get into it. So the first question is that I noticed that when you typed ls-lah, the csh-file was in your home directory. I heard you say csh is my shell of choice, which it is, and the cshrc file must be the configuration file for this shell. As it is found in your home directory, this must mean that the changes you make to this configuration file will be user specific. Correct, meaning those changes will take place for me only. Is this correct? Yes, it is. So anything that's in your home directory is for you, user specific. As the CSH in the file name stands for the shell type that you use, what does the remaining RC stand for? I would guess the C is for configuration and the R remains ambiguous. That's a good question, and I have no idea. RC has just always been the configuration file. You've got the rc.conf in /etc, which is, you know, that's what sets up your system. And then you've got the .cshrc. I don't know. I'll have a dig around and see if I can find that out. Right, okay, that kind of makes sense. So RC stands for runcon, which is an old term from Unix, way before, which basically means run command, or run control, or a few other variants thereof. Who'd have guessed? I'm sure there are people out there that are sat there going, well, I knew that, probably older than I am. But there you go, that's what it stands for. Good question, that, learning something myself. Okay, so number 2. What exactly is the CSHRC file? What other things is it used for other than defining your text editor of choice? Okay, so the CSHRC file, and we'll jump into my terminal just so we can have a quick look at one. So if I do ls-lah, you can see it there. It's this one here. Here we go. So there you go. It tells you at the top exactly what it is. It's the resource script for CSH, for the user's CSH, read at the beginning of execution by each shell. So this basically just tells CSH what to do, how to behave and how to act. So putting in the aliases like I did in the previous video, that's all listed in here. Other things that it can do, it sets your pager, your CLI color, and it also sets what the shell itself looks like, the prompt. So there you go. This is just all basic stuff that was set up by default. I haven't touched any of these. It sets up how many lines of history you have, sets your mail path. That's what it does. It sets up everything in CSH. I executed the command package install Pico Alpine. How do I know the package is called Pico Alpine? For instance, a neophyte like myself might have typed package install Pico and be given an error message. You're absolutely right. 2 things have contributed to me knowing what to type there. The first thing is I've been doing it a long time and know exactly what that piece of software is called. Experience. The second thing is trial and error. I did it. I probably saw this command somewhere on the internet many years ago and thought, let's give that a go and see what it does. And it gave me the Pico text editor. Now, I found out specifically that it was Pico and not Pico Alpine by doing a search. And there are 2 ways to do a search for packages on FreeBSD. The easiest way, which is PKG search Pico. See what it brings up. There you go. It lists everything that's got Pico in the title in the package repository. It lists everything that has got Pico in the title in the package repository. See what I mean? Long week. It lists everything that has got Pico in the title in the package repository. Woohoo! The repository that's hosted by FreeBSD anyway. So if you look at the second one down, there it is, Pico Alpine. Now the other way that you could search for packages is how I generally tend to do it, and that is by going to the ports webpage and just searching for it. And there it is, Pico Alpine. And if you look at the actual URL that that's pointing to, it will tell you exactly what the package itself is called. So it's in ports tree editors Pico-Alpine. So two ways that you can get to it. I seem to understand that the package application connects you to FreeBSD's repository containing Pico Alpine. Is that correct? Yes, that is correct. You can configure package to point to any repository that you like, including your own self-hosted one. And I did do a video on Podry and Powdry, however you want to say it, on how to create your own. So check that out. Link should be up here somewhere. Coming from a Windows background, I need to get used to this repository approach to obtain software. Now, it's not the only way that you can obtain software. You can get text messages from the wife. Sorry about that. It's thrown me off a bit. Okay, right. So, coming from a Windows background, I need to get used to this repository approach to obtaining software. As I say, there are more than one way to install software, and you don't have to rely on FreeBSD's repositories or the ports repository or the package repository. You can, like you can with Linux and in fact Windows, download software from anywhere, compile and install it. It's just that FreeBSD's approach, the repository-based approach, and Linux to a certain degree does this as well. In fact, most distributions come with a package manager. It's a much tidier way and you're getting it all from one place. And unfortunately with Linux, there are more than one package repository scheme and they've got more than one package. It gets confusing. That's not what this video is about. I don't want to get into that. Each package installer on Linux has its ups and its downs, as does FreeBSD's package manager. That has its ups and its downs as well. At 6:18, the screen went blank and did not display my commands. Yeah, I noticed that. That was I don't know what happened with editing that video. For some reason, I must have missed out a bit. Basically, what I typed was pico-w.cshrc. Now, you can see what that means when it gets to it. Did I do -w? I might have done -f, actually. No, it was W. So disabling word wrap. Yeah, disabled the word wrap. Personal preference. Again, it's no biggie if you don't use it. It just wraps the words otherwise. And what does set env stand for? Now, again, if you're coming from Windows, it's probably something that you wouldn't really look at. And it is in Windows, setting environment variables. But yes, you're absolutely correct. It does stand for set environment variable. I guess it's just one of those things that you kind of get used to in Linux and Unix and FreeBSD and take for granted. And it's very easy for me to sit here and do these videos and skip through the things that I take for granted. And it's been pointed out to me by a couple of people, and I apologise for that. It's just, please, just call me out on it and say, look, what does this mean? I'm happy to stop and explain it like I'm doing in this video. So thank you to Samboda Hin. If I've butchered your name, I do apologise. My pronunciation of names that are not native to me is not great, and I do apologise. But thank you for leaving that comment, because it does highlight that we rush through these videos and don't actually give it a bit of thought when things are a little bit more... There are the things that we take for granted, and I apologise that. I hope that kind of explains some of the things that I tend to rush through in my videos and gives you a little bit more of an insight into how somebody who has more experience on FreeBSD would look at things. And again, this can translate into Linux as well, and some of it into Windows, not as much. Setting environment variables, you can do that in Windows too. Anyway, I hope this is useful to you guys, and please, if it is, just give it a thumbs up and share it and do what you like with it. Tune in next time and we'll cover some more FreeBSD content, or maybe even some firewall stuff. We'll see what we do. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.